Hey beautiful people, and welcome back to the Global Life. For those of you who are regular here, welcome back. It's great to have you back. And for the new ones that are watching this channel for the first time, well, welcome to you as well. Hopefully you're gonna find something you enjoy here. So today is a very simple video. I've done a couple of videos before where we either walk around the plane. If you want to watch that one, just follow the link. That's going to be somewhere around the video, probably down there. And I go around the plane explaining the different parts of the walk around. So I'm not going to do it on this video, but if you wanted to learn a little bit more about it, then I think it'll be a good place to start. Because honestly, it's the first thing on the checklist for what we're going to do today. Following that is the sort of pre-flight checks in the cockpit, firing up the APU. We've done that too in this video, and so if you want to check it out, also if you haven't already, again, there's going to be a link somewhere around there. Make sure you find it and you check it out. It's a really cool video, and we go through the whole cold cockpit start from nothing going on to the APU being fired up. But it stops pretty abruptly there, and I apologize for that. However, today is your questions are finally answered, and we're going to take it from the APU, hopefully all the way to I would say like before taxi, because sad day, I forgot my GoPro and the audio cable, so but we'll see what we can do. So let's have some fun, tag along, and let's make our way nicely to the cockpit over there. Made it, here we are. Let me just go in here. Ooh. Anyhow guys, so the flight compartment safety checks are all done. We've done, like I said, if you watched the previous video, we fired up the APU, now it's running, and now we got to go through the originating check. So it's going to be the checks that we do every day before we leave. Once the APU is up and running and we got things going on, we're just going to go through the flow. First it's the flow, but then we're going to use the checklist to catch up with it. It's pretty easy, honestly, because like I said, we just go through the panel. Bombardier did a really good job building this plane and grouping everything together, and it's a dark cockpit concept, so you'll see a lot of switches are off, or they seem to be off, they're not lit, but that means most of the time that the system is running. So I'm going to turn you around. So we're here, we started the APU, it's running, we've done all these checks, and now we're at the flight compartment originating check. So first thing to check is that while we did our internal and external pre-flight checks. So like I said, these two are two separate videos. You can go watch if you want to see what these are like. Gear and safety pins, we got those already during the walk around. Pedal seats harnesses, we'll set them up to match our own height. Here the goal is that as we're sitting, those little disco balls there will match. So you can see that there's one back there. For me, my goal is that as I'm sitting, the two there will line up as good as possible, so that I'm not too low or I'm not too high to the right or to the left, but I want them to line up, and this will give me the proper line of sight when I'm landing, taking off with the plane. Now you don't see me.
Watch this. This is the heavy monster sound. The nuts sound around.
Carrying on, pedal seats and harnesses, yeah. Passenger oxygen. I'm going to use my stat page here, and I see that I have 92% oxygen reserve. That's good. We have 4 bottles of oxygen in a plane. This will turn amber at 75%, meaning a 75% total quantity left, or one of the bottles is completely empty. Cockpit voice recorder. The test involves just pushing button down for 5 seconds and waiting for the light to turn on. So we'll wait for a good friend Sean to do this over there. Check. We get the green time. That's good. ELT. So this is where our flow starts, and we'll see the ELT, hydraulic panels, the electrical panels, IAC oral warning switches, fuel panels, engine panels, bleed, pack, anti-ice panel, pressurization panel, windshield heat, external light, emergency light, standby compass, glare shield panel, stall pusher switches, and that will take us to the stall pusher test after. So here we go. Our flow is going to take us through this whole panel up there, one step at a time. So ELT is armed. Our hydraulic shut-off valves, left and right, are open, and notice that they are black in that case. Our hydraulic pumps have been tested, and so I'll show you what it does. Basically, we would turn on 3A. 3A is the only electric, fully electric, well no, sorry, 3A and 3B, they're fully electric, but 3A is the only one that doesn't have a auto position, as you can see, because that's the one that we're going to turn on once our hydraulic brake is on, parking brake is on. I'm going to turn that on. You can see that 3A is green with 3100 psi of pressure. I've set up my parking brake already. So now what I would do, because of limitations on this plane, you cannot have more than one hydraulic pump running on the APU. Okay, the APU will only power one of them at the same time because this is a huge truck. What I would do is go turn this one off, then I'm going to walk through those, put 1B, okay, and you can see that 1A and 2A are the engine driven, so these are only like on once your engines are running, but 1B is our electric one, the backup one, and this one's running now. We see a green line. I'm gonna take it to auto. I know this one works. To B now, or not to B. Same thing, it is green, 3100 psi, that checks. This one goes to auto, and now it's ready to do its job whenever it's required, which will be as soon as the flaps are going down, the gears are down, all the pumps go on automatically. And then 3B. And this one goes back on auto. I'm going to turn 3A on again. And that completes this check for the hydraulic panel. Now electrical, what I'm trying to do here is make sure that all these are black. That means the systems are working the way they are. Cabin outlets, cabin power, that's set. Our oral warning computers are on, so that means they're black. Okay, if they were off, they would be illuminated off. Fuel panel will make sure that everything is centered on auto and our systems are on, meaning black again. Remember, black cockpit concept. Auto. This is all where it's supposed to be. APU is running, obviously. Now we go back here. This is the bleed air panel. Everything is black or centered, normal or auto. Anti-ice panel is on off right now and auto. Pressurization panel. Some of them are spring loaded where they're supposed to be. Some of them are where they want to be, like FMS for example, instead of manual. Norm instead of high. Those are black, meaning they're on. Windshield heat, right now I'm going to turn them on. That puts the windshield heats at a low temperature loop where they're going to keep them at around, I think it's 30 degrees Celsius, don't quote me on it, but while we're on the ground, in ground mode, it keeps it on low, and once we go airborne, it'll turn it up to high. The rest of our external lights are where they should be. Passenger signs are going to go to auto, and they're going to be activated by the flaps. Beamer lights are armed, meaning in the case of a crash or a loss of power, they will illuminate on their own. I'm going to check my compass. While this is aligning, I'm going to go to my glare shield panel, make sure that all my switches and knobs are basically where I want them to be. I see nav and heading here, meaning that Sean's already come in here and set up the setting up things. So this is where the glare shield panel is. Go back to my compass now that it's stabilized a bit. See the heading is good. Put that back in. And now I'm going to my stall switches, which is this one and there's one on the other side over there. Make sure that they're on. I'm gonna go test. And I'm gonna do the stall test. So there's two parts to this. First, I'm gonna select it on this panel here, on the EMS CDU. Select it on test, watch yourself. You can see the two shakers are being tested. And the pushers. While this is happening, look at the ADC123 degraded message. Now it's gone. So this part has passed, otherwise we would have another cast message. The second part of the stall test is using this button here, the autopilot disconnect. And I'm gonna hold it until I get 3 messages here. It's called the ASS. AP1 to fail, stab trim, and stall protect fail. Now we have a successful stall test. Coming back to this side of the checklist now, rat gen test. This is an interesting one to look at. We call the rat gen our 3C hydraulic pump because it does electric and hydraulic. So on the EMS TDU, I will select rat test. When I push this, watch what happens. So you see now, in case of emergency, where we would be to lose all electrical power, hydraulic power for some reason, we could deploy the rat and it would start pressurizing a hydraulic system through the 3B line there. Okay, EFIS and ICAS, we will check those. So there's a row there: bleed, air conditioning, hydraulic, AC, DC, fuel, and flight controls. I will go through each and single one of them to make sure that everything is green. In fact, let me do it on the screen. Bleed, all green. Air conditioning, all green. Hydraulic is looking the way it should with the way the switches are configured at the moment. AC electrical, is good. DC electrical is good. Fuel is where we need it to be. And notice how the APU is being fed by the right wing tank at the moment. Finally, flight controls are where they should be going. Back to stat. Okay, EGPWS switches are here. These are used in very specific scenarios where you need to disable them, the oral warning. And that's why they're guarded, because it's really not a regular use. RMU TCAS, I'm going to come here, do my TCAS test.
TCAS test.
I'll watch what happens on the PFD while this is happening. This is for our resolution advisory.
TCAS test. Pass.
So that's passed. Audio control there, and honestly we really don't have to switch it too much. Cockpit lighting is where we need it to be. Reversion control panel is here, and this is where we would revert in case of emergencies. We could switch to a different symbol generator, or switch the information from a PFD to a different PFD in case the actual screen has broken, or switch IRS source or ADC source. And obviously there's limitations to all of that, but we want to make sure that they're all normal and not bent, which has happened before also. So these are all where they're supposed to be. That's good. Ground lift dumping is on auto, and this has been checked during the last checklist too, and it will be checked again later. So it's an important one. And finally, engine are both on EPR. Sorry, that'll be here. So engine pressure ratio is what is, controlling our engines right now, how they will be synced and managed by the FADEC. Otherwise, we can also choose N1, which is a secondary mode. That's about it, guys. The next thing will be our start checks, and I'll just put the camera up and you can follow along as we fire up the plane.
Everything okay?
Yes, sir. Before it starts,
Crew oxygen mass quantity.
yes. Check.
Check passenger signs.
Auto. Not required, really.
Altimeters.
I see 3025 3 times. That seems to be showing the right altitude also.
Check. FMS takeoff data.
I see it was computed, then I checked.
Trims.
7.13 green, 2 channels.
Radio navigates.
Left takeoff.
FMS 2 on my side. Takeoff brief.
Alright, so out of Toronto Pearson, looks like we're expecting runway 23. So my guess would be a taxi up by Juliet and either Bravo or all the way down Juliet to the button of 23. What's the SID today?
Go Pop 3.
Go Pop 3 departure of 23 unless otherwise assigned by ATC. Climb 237 to 1100 feet. Which is there, and then 245 heading.
Check.
Climb up to 5,000 feet, which you see is also a site here. Terrain, not too much to worry about today in terms of obstacles. We're looking at a 3,000 feet MSA on the way out. Otherwise, weather is good. Operationally, it's just been a while since we've flown, so we'll be mindful of that as we go through everything. Otherwise, leaving Toronto today, no other real threats.
Okay.
And performance-wise, let's see here. We have 108, 108, 123. If anything happens below B1, either of us can call malfunction and we'll abort. Anything after that is an airborne emergency. Carry out with the takeoff, climb to our MSA here, 3,000 feet. We can clean up there and then ask for a return to Toronto, depending on the nature of the emergency. That's about it, right?
Yeah, I got it all. I concur. Doors.
Are all closed.
Check. And hydraulic pumps.
Hold on.
Parking brake.
Yes, sir.
Beacon is red.
Okay.
Gas.
Gas is checked.
Engine start. Clear on the right.
Clear there. Yeah. This guy is gone. I can see 246 is a good start. Clear left. One 0532, that's a good code.
Yes, sir.
246. Start. I checked?
Plates went.
Checked and retracted.
No lift up there.
Auto?
No steer.
Okay.
Taxi there.
So if you coming off the street and you're beginning to feel the heat, well listen, Buster, you better start to move your feet to the rockiness, rock steady beat of madness.
Hey guys, it's JD here. Thanks again for stopping by and watching the video. As always, if you enjoyed it, please leave a big thumbs up, a comment. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. And don't forget to subscribe so you know when the next one's coming out.